The comeback you just witnessed was one for the ages, and I want to walk you through exactly how it unfolded. The ugly start, the halftime reset, the second-half shutdown, and that nerve-shredding finish that ended with Brandon Aubrey's kick sliding through to put us on top 24-21. I'll be honest with you, the first half looked like a mess. Penalties, slow starts, miscommunications at home, and the Eagles jumping out to a 21-0 lead while we couldn't get anything clicking on offense or find consistent answers on defense. You probably remember feeling that knot in your stomach, thinking this could turn into another what-if game. But the turning point came late in the half and carried into the third quarter, when the Cowboys started to flip the script. Dak Prescott, Dak, threw one of those nights where everything seemed to click. 23 of 36 for 354 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and even that grit play, where he tucked it and barreled into the end zone instead of checking down. That play felt different. It wasn't the safe play. It was the "I'm finishing this" play. And to me, it signaled a mental shift in how he's approaching the rest of the season. On the other side, our defense that had been gashed early finally found its footing and shut the Eagles out in the second half. Better containment, more consistent tackling, and pressure that disrupted timing even if the sack total didn't explode on the stat sheet. You saw A.J. Brown quieted after his early impact, and the run game that had been carving us up in the first half got bottled up in the second. Special teams gave us drama too. Aubrey missed earlier but then delivered the clutch 42-yarder when it mattered most. And the stadium moment with Marshawn Nelland honored around the team made the win feel bigger than just one game. Now, I'm not going to pretend everything's fixed. The drops were still a problem, and the CeeDee Lamb stuff is frustrating. And yes, that whole trade chatter and Pickens debate is going to follow this team. But wins like this do a lot for confidence. I want you to tell me right now in the comments, who was your player of the game? Dak or someone on defense? Also vote in the poll below this video. Did this comeback prove the Cowboys can make a real playoff push, yes or no? And before you scroll away, help the channel hit our goal of 17,000 subscribers so we can keep bringing breakdowns like this and the All-22 deep dive I'll put together next. Smash that like button if you felt the same relief I did and hit subscribe, so other Cowboys fans find this breakdown. Dak Prescott's night was the kind of performance that changes the tone of a season. And I want to walk you through why this game felt like more than just big numbers. It felt like a mindset shift. Stat line first, 23 completions on 36 attempts for 354 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and 1 interception, plus that one spark rushing touchdown that kicked the momentum into another gear. But stats don't tell the whole story. It was the way he played in critical moments. On that touchdown where he refused to check down to Javonte Williams and instead tucked the ball and powered through defenders, you saw a different Dak, decisive, aggressive, and willing to take the hit to finish the drive. That play illustrated something I've felt for a while. He's less interested in playing safe and more interested in winning right now, even if it means putting his body on the line. I know the physical limitations are real. The injuries and surgeries over the years mean teams don't necessarily game plan for Dak as a designed rushing threat. But that doesn't make those occasional game-changing runs any less valuable. They're proof of competitiveness and timing when it matters. Passing-wise, he had excellent pocket awareness and timing tonight. You could see the chemistry on key throws, and the ability to stretch the field that turned drives into scoring chances. The interception stung. And it's a reminder, he's human. But overall, his command of the offense in the second half was the difference between a loss and a comeback win. Also, don't forget the way he managed third downs and critical short yardage situations. Those are the plays that let defenses know you're not afraid to go for it. Javonte Williams chipped in with 20 carries for 87 yards, which helped balance the attack and kept the Eagles honest. But this was Dak's night from a leadership standpoint. Audibles, clock management, and that Finishing mentality. I want to know what you think. Was Dak the clear player of the game, or did someone on defense deserve that honor? Drop your vote in the comments and be specific. Tell me one play that convinced you. And if you appreciate this kind of breakdown, hit like and subscribe to help the channel reach our 17,000 subscriber goal, so we can keep bringing all 22 breakdowns and deeper Dak-focused analysis. If you want the next segment, the defensive turnaround in the second half was one of the most dramatic we've seen all season. And if you're a Cowboys fan who felt completely defeated watching the first two quarters, you weren't alone. Early on, the Eagles ran the ball at will, used misdirection, and took advantage of Dallas being a step slow off the snap. Missed tackles, poor run fits, and late reactions on zone reads put the Cowboys in a 21-0 hole, and it felt like déjà vu from other frustrating starts this season. But something changed at halftime. Energy, communication, and discipline all tightened up, and suddenly the run lanes that were wide open in the first half started closing fast. Containment on Jalen Hurts, which was a major issue early on, improved dramatically as the front seven kept better edge integrity and forced him to hold the ball or cut inside where help was waiting. You could see the adjustment paying off when Hurts's second-half production dropped and the Eagles stopped converting easy chains with his legs. Saquon Barkley getting held to 22 rushing yards on 10 carries tells you the Cowboys were winning at the line of scrimmage when it mattered most. Pressure was another big factor. Even though the Cowboys only recorded one official sack, pressures and disruptions in the pocket forced Hurts into quicker decisions and kept Philadelphia from getting comfortable on early downs. Guys like Quinnen Williams made their presence felt up the middle, collapsing the interior and shutting down those inside runs that were gashing Dallas early. And while Logan Wilson didn't have a highlight reel game, he played fundamentally sound football, dropping into the right zones, helping erase passing lanes, and limiting second-chance yards that the Eagles usually thrive on. The defense also did a great job neutralizing A.J. Brown in the second half after he lit things up early. Outside of a single minor reception, he was completely taken out of the game, which is a testament to discipline in coverage and physicality at the catch point. This was the kind of adjustment-based performance you want to see from a team trying to build playoff momentum. A wake-up call early, a statement late. I want to hear your take in the comments. What impressed you more? The run defense clamped down, or the way they contained Jalen Hurts in the second half? And if you're enjoying this breakdown and want us to keep diving deeper every week, hit like and subscribe so we can push toward that 17,000 subscriber goal and bring even more Dallas-focused analysis to the channel. If you're ready for the next section, if you loved the second half shutdown, don't get me wrong, but there are still real problems that keep me up at night, and we've got to be honest about them before we start celebrating too hard. First, the drops. CeeDee Lamb's hands, or lack of them on certain plays, showed up again, and that inconsistency literally changes drives. You can point to one or two catches that should have been backbreaking, and instead they're second and longs or punts. That's not a small thing. It's a recurring issue that forces Dak to do more and forces the offense into lower percentage plays. Then there's the penalties and miscommunication, especially at home. False starts, untimely penalties, and the kind of sloppy execution that hands opponents easy momentum early. We saw it in the first half tonight, and it nearly cost you the game. Special teams gave you that heartstopper too. Brandon Aubrey missed earlier, then delivered the 42-yarder that won it. Clutch kickers are great, but you don't want your whole game to hinge on a redemption swing from the kicker. Finally, the roster and contract questions are loud for a reason. You've already paid CeeDee Lamb, and that complicates any ideal trade for a proven WR fantasy. George Pickens' talk is going to be loud after performances like this podcast host's hot take, but reality is more nuanced. Salaries, fit, and what you give up in draft capital or depth all matter. The bottom line is this win papered over a lot of issues for one night, but it didn't fix fundamentals. Drops, penalties, and situational execution still need attention if you want consistent wins, not just dramatic comebacks. I want a quick temperature check from you. Hop into the comments and answer this hot take poll. Trade CeeDee Lamb for a true WR like Pickens. Agree or disagree? Be specific in one sentence about why. If you think these problems are still game-breaking, hit the like button to signal you want the coaching staff to address them in the tape study. If you think the comeback proves the team can adjust and survive, share one reason why in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. We're chasing 17,000 subscribers so we can keep breaking down these storylines and pressure test every roster idea. All right, here's what this win actually means for the run ahead, how the Marshawn Kneeland tribute tied into the team's energy, and why you should care beyond the final score. This victory does more than just add a tick in the W column. It buys the Cowboys momentum and confidence, especially heading into a stretch where every game feels like a measuring stick for playoff hopes. Look, the schedule isn't impossible. You've got tough tests coming up like Kansas City and other divisional matchups, but beating a top NFC opponent after digging out of a 21-point hole sends a message. This team can respond under pressure, and that resilience matters in January. Equally important was the emotional through line of Marshawn Kneeland's tribute. Seeing his jersey honored, his family in the stands, and players visibly carrying that memory onto the field felt like a unifying moment that lifted the locker room when the game got tight. Wins are always about execution, but sometimes they're also about heart, and tonight the Cowboys showed both. From a roster perspective, the win helps preserve belief in the current core, while also sharpening the list of things that still need to be fixed. Pass-catching reliability, fewer pre-snap mistakes, and more consistent early-game energy. If the coaching staff uses this as a teaching moment and cleans up those recurring errors, the Cowboys can convert dramatic comebacks into fewer late scares and more comfortable wins. But let's be honest, one comeback doesn't erase structural problems, so your expectation should be cautious optimism. Cheer for the progress, but demand the fundamentals. Now I want you to weigh in. Should we produce a full, all-22 breakdown next? Yes or no? Drop your vote in the comments and tell me one specific element you want me to focus on if I do the tape study. Blocking, route separation, zone fits, whatever. Also, if this kind of analysis helps you enjoy the season more, smash that like button and subscribe to push us toward 17,000 subscribers so we can fund deeper breakdowns and faster uploads